Welcome to episode 5 of the Toronto Until Blue Jays podcast. I'm Steve Artabello with Anthony Harris and Theo Iordanno. You can find us. We're back on YouTube. Our channel got deleted, but we're back. We don't know why we got deleted because we're back, and we don't know. They didn't give us a reason, but we're back. YouTube, Toronto Untilt. You can find our website, torontountilt.com. You can find us on Twitter at Toronto Untilt. And, of course, the audio for this podcast will be available literally everywhere. We're talking Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Chrome Podcasts, Anchor, Bleaker, Breaker, all of the podcast things. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, share. Obviously, the video will be back on YouTube since we're allowed back on YouTube. Let's just get right into it. Jays have been real good this week. Real good this week. And I think the thing we need to talk about first is pitching. Theo?
Were you talking about the rotation or the bullpen? Because
let's go positive. Let's talk about the bullpen first.
I mean, the bullpen, like we've said it in the offseason, this bullpen is the most underrated in baseball. Merryweather, unbelievable. I thought the first game, I thought the shadows kind of benefit. Like, he throws very hard. They just couldn't pick it up. This day, there are no shadows or anything.
79-mile-an-hour changeup when he throws 99.
And, he hit 100 today, too. He was just unbelievable this week. Everyone in the pen but Dolis was, even Baraki.
And Dolis' first appearance was really good. And his second one, it's like he has a lot of movement. That's going to happen sometimes. He's just hard to watch. So when he's not good, he's so slow.
Just Jason Frazier 2.
I was just about to say, when you had the fucking meme where it's just like corporate, it's like corporate needs to tell the difference between these two pitchers, Jason Frazier and Dolis. It's just like the same pitcher.
I'm a meme guy now.
Well, you're cool. And Frazier's one of the best relievers in history of the franchise.
Yeah. But when they suck, it's annoying because, if you're going to suck,
they take forever.
It's just, you can't suck for an hour on a mound. It doesn't work.
I remember screaming at Jeffress in his one appearance as a Blue Jay when I was there that day that JP Arriancibia had dropped every baseball that R.A. Dickey threw to him, the home opener. I was there screaming at Jeremy Jeffress because it took him 8 years to throw baseballs, and then he would walk people and get taken deep. It was incredibly frustrating.
Yeah,
very frustrating. It was a dark time in Blue Jay land.
But the rest of that bullpen too, even Chatwood, he'll get
Chatwood. Well, and even what's his face today? No, the one that got traded for Thomas Hatch, that they brought back.
Yeah,
Phelps.
David Phelps.
Phelps and Chatwood are just supposed to be just dudes. They're just around. Both of them look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're fine.
And against a good lineup.
Yeah, just also the whole Tommy Malone thing. Just no Tommy Malone innings. We talked about this actually before we started recording. Just talking about the bullpen. The bullpen has been phenomenal. They're really good. Romano needs to throw his fastball more, but that appearance today was gross. Merryweather's gross. Dooley, they're all doing really, really well. I don't want to see any Tommy Malone innings. Let's just send him back to the taxi squad or the ultimate training site or somewhere else because I never want to see him again.
Might get some blowout innings next week in Texas. You could get some mop-up duty.
I don't want to see any Tommy Malone innings. I hate.
Texas is scoring runs right now, so
yeah. Did you see that series against Kansas City? It's fucking 11-10, insanity.
Yeah, those games.
I guess we can jump into the starting rotation. Do we have to talk much about Ryu? He looked pretty much exactly like Ryu.
He's a stud. End of discussion.
The only thing with him this year,
exactly, he's exactly what you expected he was going to do.
Him against Aaron Judge was masterclass in pitching.
It was
perfect.
And the thing is, yes, Gary Sanchez took him deep. Gary Sanchez runs into baseballs every once in a while.
He ran into a couple.
2 days in a row.
I hate Gary Sanchez.
Yeah.
But with
Ryu, to get to nitpicking, because that's the only thing you do with this guy, I would like if this year, at some point, we can build him to maybe go a little longer in games. It felt like last year it was 6 innings cut off, and that was pretty much
I think that's probably as deep as you're going to get. And I think the reason with Ryu is once guys see him, they foul off more pitches because he can't blow anybody away.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So the at-bats get longer and he just gets deeper into a pitch count. So it's harder for him to go 7 innings because he could go 7 innings, but he'll throw 120 pitches and he's injury prone. And a lot of guys, I'd like you to just let the leash off and let them go deeper. he's a guy I'm okay being a little bit safe with, just with his incredibly long injury history. Like, just maybe be okay with, like, you can throw 100 pitches or less. That's all fine. That's fine. He's going to be really good for those 100 pitches or less, and he's probably going to go 6 innings. Right?
Yeah,
like,
that's what the
he's
Dodgers
still
did,
outpitched Cole.
Dodgers
right. That's exactly. And he still got hurt like crazy, but he was elite for them, and that's what they did with him last year. So, if that's what has to happen this year, that's what's got to happen. Before we get to TJ Zeuch, which I think was the biggest surprise to all of us watching him today. Well, actually, because of TJ Zeuch, like, Stripling wasn't good enough. Stripling was exactly what we thought he would be. Like, he's not good enough.
No, well, he didn't
give a starter.
Like, he didn't give up like a ton of runs.
He went 3 1/3 and gave up 3 runs.
Yeah, but it wasn't like he gave up home runs.
Did you expect better?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, that's not good enough. You can't be in this rotation, and that's like it's not like we're all like, oh man, like, he can do better next time. You look at that, like Theo just said. Do you expect anything different? You see that stat line, you're like, oh yeah, that's Ross Stripling.
Apparently, he's very nice though. He's a good clubhouse guy.
He seems like the nicest dude. I've heard him do interviews too. He seems smart, and he does seem like a genuinely good dude.
He's a podcaster, so be nice, because it's maybe.
Hey, honestly, maybe we'll get him on the podcast. But, like, and it's not that I mean, probably not actually, because you'll hear the fact I just say he's just not good enough. He's just not.
Well, he just would want you out of the room.
We're a tight podcast anyway.
Yeah.
Ty's
will be a big fan of you, Theo, as
I'm
you are.
trying to get him to retweet me so badly. So
I said he did.
I know. Like, once I saw what Zeuch did today, and it's mostly, he was a dude who maybe threw 91 at any point that we've ever seen him, right? Like, that's not an exaggeration. The fact that he hit 95 a couple of times today, or 94 a couple of times today, he was consistently 92, 93. The amount of movement he has, the fact that he's added this cutter that's really hard, like 89 to 91, and it's got a lot of movement left to right. The slider looks good. The changeup, the fastball changeup, like, looks like Dolise's. It moves so much. You know what I mean? That 2-seamer sinker thing, and his changeup that does the exact same thing that's 10 miles an hour different. Like, that looks like a starting pitcher to me. That actually looks like a dude who was a first-round pick. Because the first time we saw TJ Zeuch, he did not look like some dude you took in the first round. Let's be honest. And did you notice the fact that, hey, he only had 1 strikeout, but did you notice that at all today? Did he not just look good?
Not till you brought it up just now, actually.
Well, it helps when you throw 96. It helps a lot.
Like, and the thing is, when I look at that cutter, I look at, well, that could be a strikeout pitch. Like, I could see him getting strikeouts with that pitch, because he has so much that, like, to a right-handed batter at least, because so much is moving towards them, the sinker and the change, that every once in a while you throw that 89 to 91 mile an hour cutter, and it just goes from the outside out of the zone. I think you can get some swings and misses on that. Either way, I want to see him in the rotation again. I'm actually that.
I don't know if we want to get into that.
Do you want to get into the Charlie? Do you want to get into the Charlie thing right now?
I don't think that's a Charlie thing. That could be a management thing. Could be an upper thing. But I think, because he only went, what was it, 4 innings today? Did he? He didn't see the 5th. It's the first game.
Yeah, you're right. He didn't see the 5th, and he should have seen the 5th.
I could have thought he'd go 75, 80 pitches at least, but apparently they didn't want him to even risk seeing the top of the lineup again, or to give Thornton not a clean inning. So maybe that.
I think it might be that extra time around.
I think that I think they also thought they were going to get more out of Thornton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did.
Like,
kind of in trouble.
He was supposed to be like a bulk guy, right?
He's supposed to be Michael King.
I'm not gonna lie though. Oh yeah, right. That was gross.
King of New York.
Seeing Thornton though, that wasn't really all that encouraging. I thought going to the bullpen, you were going to see a guy that, like, he was throwing 95 as a starter, and he would lose it and get down to 93. He didn't throw a single pitch above 93 today, and he got down to 90 consistently.
When's the last time he pitched?
He pitched at the start of last year, and he had bone spurs and all that shit, and they took it out of his elbow. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just, he's kind of lost velocity, and he's just as wild, and his stuff doesn't look like it's breaking as much anymore, because he used to have that big 12-6 curve, right? Like, it was wicked 12-6 curve and the 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And I thought, dude, in the bullpen, that's going to be a weapon. And then when I saw him today, it was kind of just like, I don't know what that is. And I, like, why did you take out TJ Zeuch? Why Why is this the option? Why did you choose this? What is going on here? I don't know. Am I wrong? Did anyone else see anything out of Thornton?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe it's they wanted to get him some work too. I don't know, but that's not what I would have done.
Do you think Stripling's going to be in that role if we ever get fully healthy with this rotation?
I think Stripling might be the mop-up guy. Like in the blowout, he pitches 3 innings. Yeah. I think that's his only role on this team.
Because there's 3 guys who are out who are better than him. Ray, Kay, and Pearson. So
Kay, I can see not making the team. Like he's just like, is Kay even on the IL? I think Kay just didn't make the team.
I thought he was hurt.
I thought like he just took a comebacker. I don't know if they actually put him on the IL. I think he just didn't make the team, and they're keeping him stretched out as a starter. Like they don't want him in the bullpen. They want him as a starting pitcher. Robbie Ray better replace Stripling. I don't know who he replaces on the roster. You could take someone else off the roster, right? But he better replace Stripling in the rotation because Robbie Ray's supposed to be good. He threw his bullpen and felt great, and you know what I mean. He should be good to go. And like, what did he throw in his last spring outing? Like he got up to almost 80 pitches, didn't he? He was throwing in the 70s. Like, so he should be able to go fairly deep in his first start, I would hope. Right?
Yes. You'd hope so, because again, another of the issues is with the early starts and the bullpen again looking great. This happened last year though, looked so good in the beginning, and then the wear and tear is going to get to you through 162. So we can't just rely on 6 innings from bullpen.
Well, that's the thing, and like that's why you need Pearson to come back, because Vladdy looks like exactly what we were promised. So, like, we talked about this, like, in order for the season to be the season it's supposed to be, Vladdy needs to be what he is, and that's not a question. It just has to happen, and Pearson needed to do the exact same thing. Vladdy looks like we got that.
This is his year.
Pearson, we need to see. Oh, God, Vladdy looks ridiculous. Like, I don't know if you guys want to stay on. That's exactly. I was going to say, I don't know if you wanted to stay on the pitching or just started talking about the hitting because, like, Vladdy's good, man. Vladdy looks dangerous at the plate every at bat, every pitch. You know what I mean?
He's just field home run today, taking walks. He's doing it all.
That opposite field home run got out of here in a hurry, and he didn't even look like he hit it. Like when he hit it, he looked like oh, is that going to get out of here? I don't know if I got all of it, and it was a fucking laser.
Go to Yankee Stadium.
Yeah,
Yankee Stadium, right field, exactly. Yeah. No. Short porch bullshit, but
even like with Garrett Cole in the first game, he hit that rocket right up the middle.
Almost killed Garrett Cole. That's the hardest. They kept talking about it. It's the hardest exit velo Garrett Cole's ever allowed in the Statcast era. So that's kind of impressive. That's basically Garrett Cole's career since Statcast started in either 2015 or 2016.
Yeah,
and we needed that from him because the top of that lineup was not great. Like any of them, except for Semien was okay. He got some bad luck, but.
That's the thing. We talked about it. He's hitting the ball hard, and it's just not falling for him. Like, he's smashing it right at outfielders, and you're like, okay, that gets into the gap as a double. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen – and then you see him hit the home run, and you're like, okay, the defense too. Like, oh, my God, Semien I think is going to be – I think we're going to like him a lot as pitching. I think he's going to be – I think, too, when you stick – because he has bats, too. He's really grinding on pitchers. I think when you have him – because I think they're literally just going to put Springer right above him and just knock everyone down. I think the top of that's going to be brutal because Biggio hasn't been good, but Biggio looks like this at times. You know what I mean? Because he's still having good at bats. That's the thing. Like, he's still having difficult at bats. He's
seeing a lot of pitches, but it's not like he's not hitting the ball super hard. He's missing the fastballs, even when they're very hittable. I don't know. He looks passive at times still.
You were really down on him for 3 games.
Yeah, I was not pleased. Like you shouldn't be like he just going up there for 88 all the time. Just for a guy who's supposed to be Mr. Plate Discipline, you're supposed to be able to see that and not be chasing every high fastball, but taking every other one in the strike zone. You know, it's frustrating. So hopefully he turns that around. So we'll bump him down in the lineup a little bit when George comes back, which is supposed to be April 8th. Whatever, but
they're saying he's going to come back immediately, so we'll see.
We've discussed it already. We don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, well, Monday is the 5th because today is the 4th, so
this is the home opener.
Friday,
home opener.
Yeah.
And speaking of frustrating, we have to get ahead of this now because we are a podcast that's accountable for our words. Randall Grichuk, good week. Good job.
Yeah.
I said some bad things about
Randall Grichuk. Yeah, so did I. I'm not a fan of Randall Grichuk. I didn't want Randall Grichuk really on the team. I thought that Jonathan Davis was a better option to be starting and having at the bottom of the order. And then watching Randall Grichuk struggle against Garrett Cole and then get on base and then immediately get thrown out. I wasn't thinking I was going to be wrong. And then he looked pretty damn good after that, including the dinger today was actually just a thing of beauty. Like he shortened up and that ball left the yard quick. Like that was a hell of a dinger. Also, fuck Domingo Herman.
Confirmed, not a good person.
We don't like him. No.
And watching people hit dingers off him.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
This is the Randall that you fall in love with. You see him do stuff like this, and you're like, wow, he looks great in the uniform. He's crushing the ball, all that stuff. But this only comes every, he'll have a good week or two, and then he goes back to being bad.
That'll be the nice part about him not having to play every day when you have George Springer, because when he starts to have one of those slumps, you can just take him out of the lineup.
Well, unless they're DHing him, because you got guys like Rowdy who are struggling.
I think that's actually going to help to have Rowdy and him kind of to have a bunch of them fighting for the at-bats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because exactly. And they can't get cold, because if they get cold, they're just going to go to the other guy. And then at that point, you're going to start seeing you can use the option, right? You know what I mean? You might start seeing them churn the bottom of the lineup. Yeah. That's also a possibility. So
how concerned are you guys about Rowdy? Because even I saw Wilner shitting on him.
I'm not.
I didn't. Here's the thing. He had 35 games last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Rowdy's had small stretches where he's looked like that. Over the big sample sizes, he hasn't looked that good. He has too many down stretches to have for those hot streaks to kind of balance them out for him to be acceptable. So it's kind of more the same with him. Like we're not seeing a bunch of shit we haven't seen. So that's one problem.
I'm not going to overreact over 2 games. But,
you did for Biggio. He called him
exactly. I love that. He totally just. I'm not going to overreact over 2 games.
This guy can't see a fucking
fuck Kevin Biggio. And Rowdy's going to be all right.
We've seen that from him too before. So I don't know. I'm not going to go crazy over anybody really. Maybe I am too harsh on Kevin Biggio. But it's all because I care. I want them to win.
Well, obviously, I want
them to be
win.
I want them to be top 25 in the MVP voting. Every player on the roster. That's what
that'd be pretty great.
That'd be ideal.
It'd be like the show. You'd be out here dominating.
Only Blue Jays got MVP votes.
Exactly. You put together the greatest show team ever. They just dominated the fucking top of the voting.
Yeah.
Oh man.
By the way, Teoscar Hernandez, I think one more step towards the legit.
Yep. Looking good.
I love how he was the one that they left in when they took Lourdes out.
Yeah, that was
the defensive switches. That I found really interesting that you put Teoscar and left and take Lourdes out, and that's actually what you feel better with.
Who knows?
Teoscar's looked fine this year. We haven't seen him take a weird route to a ball yet, but we also haven't seen them zoom in the outfield a whole lot with the way the cameras go, the way shit has gone. So we haven't had a lot of chances to see Teoscar run to baseballs, to be fully honest.
Yeah.
He's got the athleticism to be a plus defender. It's just, can he fucking do it? Right? Like, is this going to actually happen on a regular basis? We'll see. I did find that interesting, though, that Lourdes is the one that they choose to took out there.
It is pretty interesting.
Do you want to talk about the defense? You want to talk about one more positive thing before we get to Charlie Montoya and just the things we hate?
Yeah.
You want to keep positive? You want to keep positive? Talk about the defense and Vladdy doing the splits and making some things look nice. And Kevin Biggio has no arm at third base, but he makes good decisions. He's no arm, but he makes good decisions.
Julian Merryweather. He's the best.
Defense.
I'd say the defense is pretty good when you strike out everyone.
Are you listening?
Yeah, clearly not. He has no idea what's going on.
I guess there is no defense for a strikeout.
That's what I'm saying.
Good point.
The best point. You're welcome.
Oh man!
As far as defense, I'm so even Vlad they were getting on him about overstretching. I don't if he can.
Here's the thing. Exactly. I was about to say the fact that he's able to make those plays, so his toes coming off the bag. Do you remember what we watched last year with him at first base?
Yeah.
Like, are we really gonna critique like his toe coming off the bag when he couldn't make a normal fucking play? He would dive at every ball to Kevin Biggio when he was supposed to stay at first base. Like, we've seen a huge advancement in Vladdy. Like, I can't believe I'm the one out here telling us to lay off Vladdy, but like, come on now, that is a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's effort. Like, look at that athleticism; it's amazing.
Exactly.
And he's trying to bail out the defenders. Like, these throws aren't good.
Yeah, the throw wasn't perfect, like what they're making out to be. It was a little.
I would like to point out the picks too. Like, that's actually even harder and more of a thing that shows that he's practiced. Like, the splits and everything is cool. That's just the fact that he's in better shape. You know what I mean? Like, that's the fact that he is physically in better shape. All those little picks and those little like his little grabs on those throws that are bouncing. That's all shit that takes legitimate practice. Like, that's something that you have to do over and over again. So to see him look so comfortable doing it. And he's played less than 60 games total at first base. Like, that to me is the most impressive part about Vladdy's defense.
Yeah, scoops at first base are extremely underappreciated. They're not easy to pull off, especially with that little experience. So it's good to see progress.
100%. And then the throws were wild, and Bo had a rough game too. But my God, today did he bail that? Like, the double play combo, like that, the double play combo between him and Simeon, like the middle of the deep, like they are going to save so many runs, like just hits like balls that would have been hits last year, things that would have been runs last year. Just run prevention on this team looks so much better, and George Springer's not even in center field yet.
Yeah,
like it's
a lot of positives. Yeah,
there is, and again. It's mostly been good, honestly. They're 2-1. They didn't actually get blown out because, like in previous years, when this shit started going sideways yesterday with Stripling, like you've seen this team, all of a sudden it turns into 8-1 against the Yankees, and then the game is over, and you're seeing like slop tossed, and then the game actually stayed close. I mean, they couldn't hit with runners in scoring position, and they still couldn't hit with runners in scoring position.
The Yankees
Michael King, but.
Yeah, the Yankees got lucky the second game with their bloops in those situations.
Yeah, we didn't have any bloops.
Couldn't get a bloop.
But that's what I mean, and they kept it tight. You know what I mean? They didn't let it get completely away from them, which was really positive. Yeah. Although, my God, Charlie, bunting with 2 strikes. Like, what the fuck was that? What are we doing? First of all, why is he bunting? Because Danny Jansen should know how to bunt, first of all. In that position, you're the 9 hitter. You have a 202 career batting average. You should know how to bunt. But it became painfully obvious after the first attempt that he does not know how to. And then after the second attempt, he very clearly does not know how to. And there's 2 strikes. What the fuck was that? What?
And he was doing the jab thing, too. Just don't even do that. Just stick it out. And just
at that point, swing. Just take the rest of the at bat. What are you doing?
Just pinch hit Kirk at that point. Like,
yeah.
You're up 1 at Yankee Stadium. You're gonna just be okay with that? Like, we gotta play for a big inning. That's what you gotta do.
Exactly. Like to pussy out and try to just bunt it over. Like, I don't know. I hated that. I also hate panic DHing. I know he got a hit today, but like, what do you like?
Panic pinch hitting in the 9th pissed me off more.
They love Joe Panic.
I like Joe Panic. I like Joe Panic. Don't get me wrong. I do. He should never DH.
No. Never. DH is supposed to be for good hitters.
He's a glove first guy that's a contact hitter that like is actually better platoon left on left.
It makes no sense. He's a good defensive second baseman.
Exactly. Well, he was average at he was okay at third when they used him at third. But again, like he's an above average defender at second, and he's fine, I guess, at third. You know what I mean? Like, what are we like? what are we doing here? What the fuck are we trying to do?
He's a coach favorite. That's weird.
And I like Joe Panic, but again, he should never DH. Like, just
no. Give Teoscar a day off or something. Make him DH. Like, do anything but that.
Exactly. Put Jonathan Davis in the outfield and make one of those outfielders that did something. And again, when Theo brings up Rowdy and getting worried about him. What does it say about Rowdy that Joe Panic was the DH? Because is that just Charlie being stupid, or is that he wanted a lefty bat in there and he's already, like, the leash is short enough that he's already going to give Rowdy a day off and put Panic in there?
I think he's stupid.
Because he's done that. Also got a day off.
This is a thing. He also did this last year with Joe Panic as the DH. You know what I mean? And Rowdy was an option.
Yeah.
And again, like, you have Jonathan. Like, why isn't Jonathan Davis just playing center field, and then you put someone in the, like? What are we doing? He's
done all the things you ask of a guy to do, and he's being disrespected.
Oh, you want to talk about your commercial?
Well,
Since you want to talk about a guy who does everything he's asked to do.
He put 110%. That Jay's commercial you're going to see all season. He knew that. He put 110% into his part of that commercial, and the other center fielder we have did not. Just putting that there.
Randall Grichuk is just too cool for school. That's what he is. He's like, I can just be myself. I don't have to put on a personality. So, bigger than a home run. Get out of my face. Alejandro Kirk, I would say, was the MVP of the commercial, though.
It's hard not to love
Al. Trying to fight for jobs through commercials. You never stop. The grind never stops.
No, he had a nice smile. He spoke Spanish. It was great.
Oh, man. I don't know. Is there anything else you boys wanted to get to today?
Not really. We're the best in the AL East. We'd established that already.
Oh, I mean, technically, it's the Baltimore Orioles.
Oh, yeah.
Baltimore Orioles unstoppable.
But they played the worst team in the AL East. Red Sox. They beat up on a winless team, so it doesn't matter.
What did I say about the Boston Red Sox?
You said
JD Martinez was the worst Martinez, maybe 6 for 11. Maybe 6 for 11. It's too early to say that he's not Chris Davis. I mean, he's definitely not Chris Davis.
I don't think so.
But it's too early to say that
Chris Davis has
it's too early to say that he's not done. He's definitely not Chris Davis. But the Red Sox are definitely as bad as I thought they were.
I'm going to say by May 1st, you're going to walk back that take and your Justin Upton take, both off to flying hot starts.
I'm more likely to walk back my JD Martinez than Justin Upton take. I would.
Big home run yesterday.
I know, off one of my relievers in that fucking spreadsheet league, but let's not talk about it. One more thing before we go. I guess Theo wanted to get to like a best pitcher, best batter of the week, since we're doing these podcasts on Sunday after the Jays games on Sundays and kind of like summing up what's happening during the week. I'll kick it right off. The batter, I'll go first because the batter's the obvious one. It's Randall Grichuk. I'll be nice. You know what I mean? Like, Vladdy's obviously been the best bat, but we talked about that. Vladdy has to be. So that had to happen. And Randall Grichuk is coming and just really looked pretty good there. For the guy, though, that actually, like, my pitcher, the one that I didn't expect, TJ Zeuch, like that performance today, like maybe I'm just getting too excited because of what I saw today. Like, yeah, he had some control issues. Yeah, the ball moves all over the place, but I like the fact the ball moves all over the place and he has that much movement on his pitches. I think that's a positive. I had to give it to him. Like, I thought he could have gone deeper. I think you might have actually just legitimately found a fourth starter in this rotation, like a guy that can be around too for multiple years, 4 or 5 guy, because this is a first round pick who doesn't have much big league experience. You have control of him. And after what I saw today, the 2-seamer, the cutter, the change, the slider, like, he now looks like a big league starting pitcher. Now, granted, 1 start, very early, but the increased velo and the addition of the cutter makes me very excited about TJ Zeuch. Theo?
I might do an audible here. I was going to give some shine on the pitching to Chatwood. I thought, because how good everyone was, a little bit forgotten. A guy who I was expecting nothing from. You guys were a little higher on him. Looked okay. Baraki, but I think Baraki's going to be very important in this bullpen. He's going to get a lot of innings. Good last year. He's good in his new role. Happy with him. Happy with everyone right now. But, give some shine at Baraki. I think he was a little bit forgotten about. As far as hitting goes, again, Vladdy is just the standard answer. Give some love to Teoscar, too. I think a good opening day, and I think that he will continue to prove throughout this season that he's a legit guy. Keep trying to lower that strikeout rate, and we'll be okay there. But the bats were a little bit slow to start as far as, you don't want 3 runs a game, but it was enough against a good offense. So
One thing about Baraki, my God, that slider is different. Like, it used to be loopy and slurvy, and now it's just 89 miles an hour and a fucking weapon. Like, that's gross. With his
Everyone in our pitching is just
the bullpen is gross. It's just the way it is. It's just too bad. You wish you were the Blue Jays bullpen. You're not. Just the way it is.
When is the national media going to pick up on how good the Jays bullpen is? Like,
never. They should have already, because we just beat the Yankees. So
maybe it won't happen. It'll be ignored and not talked about, and then people will be shocked when the Jays are in the World Series. They'll be like, "Well, this bullpen has been dominant. What happened?" Yes, that's right. Yeah. Getting ahead of there now. Hype train. Oh yeah. Tony, pitcher, batter. You got anybody?
I liked what Marcus Semien did. He had a good opening series. Had a lot of solid contact out there doing his thing. So we already feel like we had a great deal. So it's good when you sign a guy and they start off nice. For pitching, I got to talk about the best reliever of all time, Julian Merryweather, who literally untouchable, throwing 100-mile-per-hour fastballs, 80-mile-per-hour changeups back to back.
That's gross.
Like
20-mile-an-hour differential is gross.
I'm just going to throw 100 at you, try to touch it.
It's unfair.
It's amazing, and it's finally paying off that Donaldson trade that we all thought was a conspiracy. And
I would also like to point out, I didn't believe Julian Merryweather was a real human being. I used to say that I want to actually physically see him in person. This is an actual thing I used to say because I didn't believe in it because I was so angry about the way this trade went. And now he's a real human being that is a fucking pitching demigod.
There were so many
red flags. Theo, I'm stealing that. He called him that, and that's what we're referring to him now as. Although he's a full-out god.
He's unbelievable.
And Kids always knows
right off the bat. In his first game, he doubled and got injured again. So I don't know. I feel bad. I hope things work out, but it's just more time on the injured list for our best third baseman ever.
Yeah, not good. That was ugly. Yeah, I guess that's it for today. Everything was pretty positive. Jays are 2-1.
I want to do a prediction quickly. How many runs in total are we getting against the Rangers in the total of the series?
3 games.
I want to say 30. I'm dead serious. I'll put the over under at 21.5.
Over. Gets too low.
That's why I said
7 a game.
That's exactly why I said 21.5. I'm dead serious. I think there could be a 15. Like, I think there could be a 15-run game in there so that you get that's why I think it could get up to 30. Because I think one of those games could be 15. Look what the Royals did to them, man. Like, Mike Fulton-Avich against Steven Matz.
I'll go 24. You're going 30?
I'm going 30, okay, I'll go over 27.
27?
I'll say 27 is my number.
I'll be the low man in this thing. I'll say 23.
23?
That's you price is right. You price is right at me.
Yeah, I did. Look at Tony out here.
All right.
I can't fucking wait. I'm very excited for episode 6 when we get to talk about the hopeful carnage that we get to witness against the Rangers and potentially the debut of George Springer. That should be.
And the Steven Matz Revenge Tour starts tomorrow.
I'm fascinated. We talked about that. Like, I'm fascinated to see if Steven Matz is like a real thing. Also, we better see fucking Robbie Ray, and it better not be TJ Zeuch out of the fucking. We are gonna riot. We will have problems if TJ Zeuch is taken out and Stripling is still out here with Tanner Rourke and shit. Yeah. Upset, very upset. But that's it for episode 5 of the Toronto Untilt Blue Jays podcast. Like the video, comment, subscribe. Tell all your friends. Find us on Twitter at Toronto Untilt. Find our website, torontountilt.com. Of course, we're streaming on all platforms, Spotify, iTunes, or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and of course, YouTube. We do exist again. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends. Until next time.
Tell your mom.
Tony out here with the fastball to end it. Just loving his Julian Merryweather.
Tell her to watch.
Okay, can I end it?
Yeah.